Black only Israelites is going off. Shalom. First and foremost, giving all praises, honor, glory, respect, and blessings to Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem Rachak Quadash. Salutations to the Lord's elect on the four corners of the earth, pushing this truth and sincerity while patiently waiting for Yahweh Shai's return. And double honors to our apostles and elders of Great Millstone, which have taught us everything we know through the spirit and power of Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai. And I just wanted to do a video real quick based on a video that was done by the brother right here, Manat Zagba from South Carolina. And the brother was getting on, these black only Israelites, in which to say that every Israelite is going to look like Wesley Snipes or Michael Jordan or LeBron James, that's going off, man. Okay? And just because you have brown skin and woolly hair does not mean that you're an Israelite. Okay? There is a such thing as a chocolate covered Edomite. Okay? And what you black only Israelites do not understand is that there are Israelites out there that look like people of the other nations. Why? Because their father's lineage on their father's side goes back to either a so-called Negro, Latino, or a Native Indian. Okay? Now, when I say the Latinos, I speak of the Cubans, the Argentinians, the Colombians, the Uruguayans, the Chileans, the Seminole Indians, okay, the Dominicans, the so-called Mexicans, the Puerto Ricans. These make up the Latino tribes. So now you know what I mean when I say Latinos. When I say Negroes, I'm talking about the Southern tribe, the so-called Negroes, the so-called Jamaicans, or also known as, aka the West Indians, as well as the Haitians. Okay? So now you know what I mean by when I say Negroes, which the word Negro is just Spanish for black. Okay? And then you have the so-called Native Indians. Which will be the Native Indians, the Seminole Indians, the Aztec Indians, which will be the so-called Mexicans, the Mayans, which will be the Guatemalans. The Guatemalans also fall under the Latino tribes. Okay, the Guatemalans, the Panamanians, and the Brazilians. They're Israelites too. Okay. But let me get that hold on. Yeah, you know what? Yeah, me get this first. All right, Jeremiah. You know what? It's better if I get this in the Blue Letter Bible. Bear with me for one moment. Yes, Blue Letter Bible. Because what I'm going to do is look up the word speckled, which I already know what it means, but for edification's sake, let me see. What was it? Jeremiah chapter 12, verse 9. Okay, so this is the book of Jeremiah, chapter 12, verse 9, as you see right here. Mine heritage is unto me as a speckled bird. Now, when Jeremiah said his heritage, he was talking about his nation, his people. The birds round about me are against her. Come ye, assemble all the beasts of the field, come to devour. So let's look up this word speckled here. What did Jeremiah mean by my nation is unto me as a speckled bird? And the Hebrew word there is Ibarwai. Ibarwai. I believe that's how you say it. Ibarwai. Okay, and what do we get? We have colored, variegated. Okay, variegated, speckled. Now, what I would like to do is look up the word variegated, which variegated is a extended word of the word variety. So, let's see. Let's look up the word variegated, if I spelled that correctly. Okay, variegated definition. Let's look this up. Variegated. It says exhibiting different colors, especially as the irregular patches or streaks, you see, marked by variety. So now what I would like to do is I would like to get that in James chapter 1 verse 1. Okay, it says, James, a servant of Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai, and of the Lord Yahushai, to the 12 tribes which are scattered abroad, greeting. Okay, the 12 tribes have been scattered on the four corners of the earth. Now, wherever the Israelite man likes to go, he likes to have sex with the women of the other nations. Now, your nationality is based on who your father is. And as a matter of fact, let's prove that. Your nationality is based on who your father is. Now, I'm not saying it's Numbers chapter 1 verse 18. Let me see. Ooh, the Wadi Yahweh, the Wadi Yahushai. Hey, the Lord put the spirit on me to do it. Let me. I ain't even know it was not exactly Numbers 1 and 18. Just goes to show you, man. The spirit of the Lord led me here. The Wadi Yahweh, the Wadi Yahushai. Numbers chapter 1 verse 18. And they assembled all the congregation together on the first day of the second month, and they declared their pedigrees after their families by the house of their fathers. Why? Because your nationality is based on who your father is. And why is that? Because who walks around the earth with a nut sack? The man does. Okay? Which the word seed, when you look up the word seed, it goes back to the Greek word sperma, which that's where you get the word sperm from. Okay? Who releases sperm? A man does. So whenever a man ejaculates into a woman, you know, and he impregnates a woman, the baby inside of that woman is going to be based on what his nationality is. Because that baby was made from his sperm. So I'm going to read it again. And they assembled all the congregation together on the first day of the month, and they declared their pedigrees after their families by the house of their fathers, according to the number of names, from 20 years old and upwards, by their polls. Now, let's go to the book of Acts. I believe it's... I guess I'll just do this. And I'll just type in Central Elf and put in the word devout, and you should find it. Okay, here we go. So this is the book of Acts chapter 2 verse 5. And there were dwelling at Jerusalem Jews. Now when it says Jews, it's talking about the southern tribe. It's not just talking about one tribe. Okay, it's talking about the southern tribe. Judah, which is so-called Negroes, come from the tribe of Judah. Benjamin, so-called Jamaicans or West Indians, come from the tribe of Benjamin. And Haitians, okay, Levi. Haitians come from the tribe of Levi. So, and there were dwelling at Jerusalem Jews, devout men out of every nation under heaven. So wherever the Israelite man likes to go, he likes to have sex with the women of those nations. So if an Israelite man have sex with a Chinese woman, right, which I love Asian women, so oh boy, they got that tight pussy. But if an Israelite man have sex with a Chinese woman, right, the baby of that woman is going to come out an Israelite, because that man is an Israelite. Now, we also got to remember, who is responsible for reincarnation? The Heavenly Father Yahweh is. Okay? Because every person on this planet has a spirit inside their body. So, the Lord sees everything. If the Lord sees, for an example, if the Lord sees that an Arab man has sex with a woman, he's going to take the spirit of an Arab person and send it into the body of that baby. If the Lord sees that a Chinese man have sex with a woman, he's going to take the spirit of a Chinese person and put it inside the body of that baby. So if the Lord sees that an Israelite man has sex with a woman and impregnated her, he's going to take the spirit of an Israelite and put it inside the body of that baby. Okay? So if an Israelite man have sex with an Arab woman and he impregnate her, right? He gets her pregnant. Guess what? That baby may look like an Arab, but that baby is still an Israelite. You know, that baby, you know, now physical feature wise, that baby might have the appearance more closer to his mother than his father. But the spirit inside that baby is the spirit of an Israelite. So guess what? There's going to be Israelites that look like so-called white people. There's going to be Israelites that look like Africans. There's going to be Israelites that look like Chinese and Japanese people, North Koreans, Taiwanese people, Thailand people. There's going to be Israelites that's going to look like Arabs, East Indians. Why? Because their father's lineage on their father's side goes back to an Israelite. Now let's get that in the book of Matthew, because you black only Israelites, to show that you're not spiritual, you think that just because somebody got brown skin, they're Israelite first time you look at them, but you don't know how to read spirits. Okay, there's people out there with brown skin that are complete Edomites. There's people out there with brown skin whose lineage really go back to Chinese or Japanese people. There's people out there with brown skin that are Arabs. Just because they look like a so-called black person does not mean they're Israelite. Okay? Oh, beautiful. So, let's see. Matthew. So this is the book of Matthew, chapter 12. Yeah, I'll start at verse 24. Matthew chapter 12, verse 24. Another parable Yahushua, who the world ignorantly calls Jesus, put forth unto them the disciples, saying, the kingdom of heaven is likened unto a man which sowed good seed in the field. The good seed are the Israelites. But while men slept, this is talking about during the time of slavery. What was going on during the time of slavery? Our women were being raped by the slave master, and guess what? They had babies with our women. Okay. So guess what? Chicken George existed, and guess what? He was a tear. Okay. Ooh, you know what? Hey, because Apostle Tahar put this out here some months back. You know, look up George Washington's son. George Washington had a son by one of our women, right? I kid you not. This This man is brown. This man has brown skin, but he look exactly like George Washington. Man is a straight up fucking terror. George Washington's black son. Look at that. This is George Washington's son. Brown skin, but look just like George Washington. You gonna tell me this man's an Israelite? Look how he's dressed. He literally looks like George Washington. Okay? This man is a chocolate covered Edomite. This man is from the tribe of Amalek. This man is not an Israelite. He's a straight up terror. His name is West Ford. Come on, man. You black only Israelites are a bunch of clowns. Get your facts straight. But while men slept during the time of slavery, his enemy came and sowed tares. How does a man sow his seed into a woman? Through sex. And his enemy came and sowed tares among the wheat, because the tare looked like the wheat, and went his way. But when the blade was sprung up and brought forth fruit, the fruit is talking about children, then appeared the tares also. So the servants of the householders came and said unto him, Sir, didst not thou sow good seed in the field? The field is talking about women. Okay, that's what the field is talking about. Okay, even the earth is likened unto a woman. Okay, if you take a apple tree seed and you sow it into the ground, what are you going to get? You're going to get an apple tree. If you take an orange tree seed and sow it into the ground, what are you going to get? You're going to get an orange tree, a tree that grows orange fruit. If you take a pineapple tree seed and you sow it into the ground, what are you going to get? You're going to get a pineapple tree. So again, a man's sperm determines the nationality of the child. So the servants of the householder came and said also unto him, Sir, didst not thou sow good seed into thy field? From whence then have it tares? Right, the tares is talking about those, they may look like Israelites, right? But guess what? Those babies are really tares. Those babies are Edomites. They're not Israel. Just because they look like an Israelite does not mean they are Israelites. Those babies are Edomites. Okay? That's what the tares are. The tares are chocolate covered Edomites. Okay? Because when the baby was born, the baby took on the features of his mother. Okay? So while the baby's father was so-called white, you know, which predominantly so-called white people are the biblical Edomites. So, you know, a so-called white person might have had sex with a so-called black woman, right? That baby came out with the features of his mother, okay? Having brown skin, woolly hair. But guess what? That baby, the nationality of that baby is an Edomite, because his father's an Edomite. Okay, so I'm going to continue reading. And Yahushua said unto his disciples, An enemy have done this. Okay. Or the householder said unto them, unto the servants, An enemy have done this. And by the way, the word servant is a polite way of saying slave, which proves that this is talking about during the time of slavery. And even now, are we not this day in our captivity? Well, you know what? Let's prove that. Let's prove that. Let's go to the King James Bible. Let's prove that we are yet this day. And the word captivity is another word for slavery. We are still this day in our captivity. Okay, the book of, I believe it's Baruch. There we go. Okay, the book of Baruch, chapter 3, verse 8. Okay, behold, we are yet this day in our captivity. There you go. So back in Matthew 13 verse 27. So the servants of the householder came and said unto him, Sir, does not thou sow good seed in thy field? From whence have it tares? He said unto them, an enemy have done this. Okay, the Edomites, the biblical Edomites are our enemy. Starting with the so-called elites, trickling down to the rest of their nation of people. And I'm talking about the so-called elites of this world, so-called white people. The servants said unto him, Wilt thou then that we go and gather them up? Right. Should we go and attack them? But he said, Nay, lest while ye gather up the tares, ye also root up the wheat with them. Right. You might call yourself trying to go and get rid of the tares, but you might also end up attacking the Israelites in the process. It says, let both grow together until the harvest. And in the time of harvest is talking about the end of the world. Okay? It's talking about, now when it says the end of the world, I'm talking about the end of Esau's rulership. Okay? I'm talking about the end of Esau's rulership. The end, because that word, when the disciples asked Yahushua about the end of the world, right? They was talking about the end of an age, the end of Esau's age, the end of Esau's rulership, the end of this wicked empire. Furthermore, when you look up that word world, it goes back to the Greek word aeon, which means an age. So right now we're living at the end of this wicked age. Okay, so we are living in a time of harvest. The nuclear destruction is right around the corner. Okay, World War III is around the corner, in which the nuclear destruction is going to happen during World War III. Okay, it says, and in the time of harvest, during the nuclear destruction, because when nuclear war breaks out, Yahushua is going to make his grand return and deliver his elect men, whosoever they may be out there. I will say to the reapers, gather ye together first the tares, and bind them in bundles to burn them, but gather the wheat into my barn. Okay? In which the barn is talking about the chariots. Okay, the Lord's elect is going to be beamed up into the chariots, the chariot, for lack of better terms. See, it says barn, so this is talking about a chariot. So the Lord's elect is going to be beamed up into Yahushua's chariot. But I'm pretty sure the message is out there, man. You black only Israelites, you're a bunch of clowns, man. Okay? Get smart. With that, I'm going to say Shalom is on to the next one.